I'd say law enforcement in California and the nation are taking a hard look at how they're doing, and there's an ongoing conversation between law enforcement and the communities that we are sworn to protect about basically how we can do better. And I think right now it's clear from all the videos that have gone viral, the headlines, that there's real work to be done in strengthening the trust. We actually, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General launched a new initiative called Open Justice, which is using open data to speak to those exact sorts of issues and trying to understand and contextualize the nature of the problem. Are these things that we're seeing isolated incidences, or are they part of broader trends? And we've been basically trying to embrace data-driven criminal justice reform by identifying a set of metrics that we think are important that help tell the story. Examples being death in custody, arrest rates looking at disproportionality between races, looking at law enforcement officers killed or assaulted to understand the levels of violence that are going on. We've also supported new legislation on collecting use of force data. And I think as we continue to get more data, the pictures start to become a little clearer, which is there are far too many of these instances happening than we like, and we need to really be thoughtful about how we can start to reduce them. But as we look at the context of all the interactions between law enforcement and the community, they're also a small percentage of the normal sort of day-to-day work that we do. And so part of what we're trying to do through this open data initiative of Open Justice is to really paint a full picture so we can get a sense of the problem, and then we can start to implement some solutions. Examples that we've already launched working with law enforcement is procedural justice training, where we can explore different ways to reduce implicit bias and interact with citizens and constituents in a different way. And so I think bottom line is we all know there's work to be done, and I think we're seeing law enforcement rally to the cry, but there's a lot of work we need to do to contextualize the story to the public. We consciously made a decision not to wait till we had everything and then go live, but we wanted to start a conversation about what exactly can open justice be to everyone. And so we're actually conducting user personas to get even more feedback and shape version 2.0. I think one of the things we were really concerned about / wary of was what was going to be the reaction of law enforcement. We did a good job trying to lead up to the launch and letting them know and getting their input, and we got some very useful input. I'd say on the whole, the reaction from law enforcement was also positive, which was ranging from, okay, this seems reasonable and fair, to this is a really important thing that will help push the dialogue. And we also got some law enforcement saying, hey, we've wanted to share some promising practices from across California that we think would be helpful. Could we actually put that up on Open Justice and create a community of practice? Which I thought was a really great sign that law enforcement is embracing transparency and communication. I think data can represent a real opportunity for law enforcement and the community to work better together and understand each other. I think it's going to involve bringing together lots of different stakeholders, bring together the civic tech community who's going to engage with the data and help create products or tools that will help law enforcement do its job better, and also help the public also get a better understanding of what's going on. I think that data will also help everyone understand where we can improve some of our particular pain points, be they consumer complaints or be they complaints about police officers, or be they highlighting good things like the number of community meetings that police officers have attended, or the number of total calls for service that police officers undertook. So I think basically we shouldn't look at data just as catching bad moments, but also finding where we're doing well and exploring what it would take to do better. And I think that's a call that will, across all the key stakeholders, need to come together and engage on.